ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin. I didn't do it for me. I did it for The Rock. And with those chilling words, a heel turn was officially cemented and a legendary meme was born. Hello, everyone. This is Warhawk Beyond 2040, bringing to you another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. And October 9th, 2000 marks 25 years ago that history was made on Raw is War, when Rikishi was revealed to be the driver that ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin at Survivor Series 1999 and officially turned heel. And for today's special edition, I am going to be discussing the success and failures of Rikishi's heel run from October 2000 to May 2001. So, Rikishi has been around for a really long time. He's had a number of different gimmicks, from being one half of the Head Shrinkers to being the Sultan, and of course Rikishi Fatu, which he debuted in November 1999 and was one of the most popular babyfaces in the company. And his friendship with Grandmaster Sexay and Scotty 2 Hotty, also known as Too Cool, the trio were incredibly over, and their dance routines were always the highlights of every pay per view, Raw and SmackDown, as they would dance their way into the hearts of the fans. And this all happened while Stone Cold was on the shelf, nursing a neck injury, and Rikishi, as I said, was incredibly popular, and one of his trademarks as a babyface was delivering a stink face to his opponents. So anytime a wrestler was in the corner and they would collapse at the bottom rope, Rikishi would pull those trunks up and stick his buttocks in his opponent's face, much to the delight of the fans. So when Stone Cold returned at Unforgiven 2000, although he did make a one off appearance at Backlash 2000 to do a run in during the Rock vs. Triple H main event. Stone Cold was a man on a mission. He was determined to find out who was the one who ran him over on that fateful night at Survivor Series 99. And Stone Cold was going through the entire roster, interfering in matches on Raw and SmackDown, delivering stunners, chair shots, beating people up, interrogating guys like Triple H, The Undertaker, to name a few. He was going through everyone, and he was determined to find out who ran him over at Survivor Series. And all fingers were pointing towards The Rock, because the vehicle that hit Stone Cold that night was The Rock's car. So everybody was suspecting The Rock as the culprit, because everyone looked at it like, well, who benefited the most during Stone Cold's absence? It was, of course, The Rock. Even Shawn Michaels was pointing the finger at The Rock, that he was the one who ran over Stone Cold. Even Shawn Michaels was a suspect for running over Stone Cold. And then during this time, Rikishi was starting to develop a very aggressive personality. He was becoming more violent as he destroyed Eddie Guerrero at Unforgiven 2000 after their match. So it was clear that the seeds were being planted for something. So it was on the October 9th edition of Raw, Commissioner Mick Foley pointed the finger at Rikishi as the one who was responsible for running over Stone Cold. And he declared that The Rock was not guilty. And Mick Foley pretty much put two and two together and said that, you know, You're more closer to The Rock than anybody else in this company. Who else would go into The Rock's dressing room, pick up his car keys, and drive The Rock's car? It would be you. And Scotty Too Hotty unknowingly revealed to Mick Foley that Rikishi was at Survivor Series on the night that Stone Cold was run over. And after going back and forth, Rikishi grabbed the mic, very calmly said, "Okay, I admit it. I ran over Austin. I was the one driving the car." And everybody, including The Rock, was shocked. Mick Foley asked him why. And Rikishi delivered this very amazing promo and said that the WWF has always been about the great white hope, and talked about all of these different names who got these big pushes: Buddy Rogers, Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan, and Stone Cold. And he said that the Islanders were always being held down. And he named all of these legendary Samoan wrestlers: Peter Maivia, Jimmy Snuka, Samu, the late great Yokozuna, and The Rock. And he went on to say that I ran over Stone Cold. I didn't do it for me. I did it for The Rock. And it was because of me, The Rock was a huge star and became very successful. And to tell the truth, if I had the opportunity to run over Austin again, I would do it. And Rikishi officially turned heel from there. And this would lead to Stone Cold and Rikishi having a very bloody, violent feud that would culminate at a match at No Mercy 2000 in a no holds barred match, which was Stone Cold's first ever match since coming back to the company. Now, this is where things get a little bit weird. I never bought Rikishi as a heel because, first of all, he did get massive nuclear heat. I mean, anyone who was revealed to be the one who took out the top guy, especially someone like Austin, you're going to get massive heat. But it just made no sense to me whatsoever because, first of all, Rikishi, although very talented, he's not really what you would call a top guy. Second of all, I heard somewhere that it was going to be Billy Gunn was going to be the one who was revealed to be the driver that ran over Stone Cold, but we all remembered Billy Gunn's failed push back in the summer of '99. Yes, Rock, I'm looking at you. But I'll give, you know, WWF credit, for trying something different. But personally, you know, Rikishi as a heel was just bizarre, especially as he was so over throughout most of 2000, with Too Cool. And now he's a heel. It just felt random. It just felt really weird and forced. And I just wasn't buying it. I'll give them credit. Rikishi did a good job playing the heel, but it just didn't really click with me. I mean, if they built it up a bit more, maybe it could have worked, but it just didn't work. But, Rikishi got to mix it up with Stone Cold, he got to mix it up with The Rock, he got to mix up with all of the top guys, but it just didn't work. It just felt weird. And, then you had Triple H was revealed as the mastermind, being the one who ordered Rikishi to run over Austin. I think it would have been better if Triple H was the one who was revealed to be the driver because he was already a massive heel. And that's the sort of thing he was more known for, doing things like that. Rikishi, yeah, maybe not so much. But I'll give him props. They tried something different, but yeah. So after he got done with Austin, obviously Stone Cold was still going after him. Rikishi accidentally cost The Rock the WWF title, and Kurt Angle would end up defeating him thanks to Rikishi's interference. And then Rikishi would have a feud with The Rock, which paid off in a quite a good match at Survivor Series 2000. I thought that was quite a decent match. And then Rikishi would be added to the six-man Hell in a Cell. This is where things get even more silly because you've got Undertaker, Kurt Angle, The Rock, Stone Cold, and Triple H. Five of the biggest names in the Attitude Era. And Rikishi. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. It should have been Kane. Kane should have been added to that match. Would have made much more sense. You know, all that star power. And I'm not saying Rikishi isn't a big name. He is a big name, but he's nowhere near in the league of those five guys that I mentioned. Rikishi was just there to take the bump, and he did. You know, he got chokeslammed by the Undertaker off the top of the cell, and he landed on the back of a truck which was covered in like straw. Yeah, he was just there to take the bump, nothing else. But Rikishi's heel run, although it got off to quite a decent start, he had a lot of heat. It just wasn't working. It really wasn't working. And then as we head into 2001, he got the number 30 spot, and he eliminated the Undertaker from the Rumble match, and Rock soon eliminated him. And then he would form a tag team with Haku, who just made his return at the Royal Rumble 2001. They had a feud with Undertaker and Kane, which wasn't a bad feud. And, they got to mix it up with the Hardys and the Dudley Boys as well. But that tag team run didn't last long as Rikishi was injured. And then he came back on the May 3rd edition of SmackDown, still a heel, and wrestled The Undertaker, as payback for what he did to him at Armageddon 2000 in the six-man Hell in a Cell. And that was pretty much the end of it. Rikishi would turn face after delivering a stink face to Stephanie McMahon, and he got injured after that. And yeah, that was pretty much it, really. But the whole heel run lasted from October 2000 to May 2001, so that's a total of 7 months. That's quite a long heel run for somebody, especially for someone like Rikishi. But I don't know really. I just feel that, apart from that great promo that Rikishi delivered about the Great White Hope and all of these top guys getting the big push and the Islanders being held down, and the feud he had with Stone Cold and the feud he had with The Rock. Other than that, there wasn't really much else that was memorable, to be honest. I mean, yeah, him and Haku were quite a decent tag team, but I don't know really. It just felt like the tag team with Haku, it was just something for both guys to do, because I felt that after Armageddon 2000, his heel run kind of cooled off. He wasn't as hot as before. Maybe they should have turned him face a little bit earlier, perhaps. But yeah, I get what they were trying to do, the shock factor, but it didn't work, in my opinion. So, in terms of the success and failures of Rikishi's heel run, I love Rikishi, but it was a complete failure. There's nothing I can really say. I'm not panning it by any means. I'm just telling it like it is and going by what I remembered and what I saw at the time. It was a complete failure, if I'm truly honest. There were some memorable moments, but yeah, it just didn't click with me. Shame, really, because I believe there could have been potential if it was done right, but I think it was just a case of bad booking. But, the theme that he had, Bad Man, that was quite decent. It kind of fit what Rikishi was being portrayed as. But yeah, it was just a bit of a hard sell for me to go from the big dancing guy with Grandmaster Sexay and Scotty Too Hottie to being this big monster heel. Just didn't resonate with me, sorry to say. But I'll give them their props for trying something different. But yeah, this was not one of their high points, shall I say. And the very fact that that line about Rikishi did it for The Rock is the most memed line I've ever seen, or it's certainly up there as one of the most memed. I've seen so many memes for that. So I suppose something good came out of that. But yeah, this was not a success. Far from it. The only success I would say is he got to mix it up with the top guys. He got to headline at least one main event, which was Armageddon 2000. So I guess that's something to be proud of, to be part of history with those five big names. So I guess that's something to be proud about and look back at and say, yeah, that weren't bad. At least I got to be in a main event for the title. So it is what it is. So anyway, that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What was your thoughts on Rikishi's heel run from October 2000 to May 2001? Did you enjoy it? Did you look at it as a success, or do you feel it was a failure? How did you feel about Rikishi being revealed as the one who ran over Stone Cold at Survivor Series 99? Were you shocked? Do you think it could have been someone else? Do you think it would have been better if it was revealed to be as someone else who was driving, perhaps? And did you have any memorable moments during his hill run? Do you think maybe they should have shortened it after he got done with Rock and Austin? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.